Tonight's AFTERBUZZ TV Bar Rescue after show, one of the most bizarre owners we've ever seen.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, Bar Rescue fans. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Bar Rescue edition. Keven Undergaro here, along with Dorinda. Dorinda, what the WTF? Because we've seen wackadoodles, we've seen assholes. But I just say bizarre because I'm still speechless. I mean, tell me about Ed. You know him well.
Kevin, you got what you wanted.
I did.
Oh my God.
It's like Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, you know, they can't see eye to eye. Like, what?
Or he's the Michael Jordan.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes, he's so, who was it, the producer? So you think that you're Michael Jordan?
You would be Michael Jordan in that
scenario? He goes, yes.
Yeah. And I like the way he talked, too. He was like a 1940s movie star, except he wasn't a star. But not really a star, but more of a character actor.
More monotone,
and
like you're.
That whole, yeah.
you're.
John thinks he knows, and yeah.
Yeah, John thinks he knows things, but this guy knows more.
But he did. I mean, I'm sorry, people at home, if you're listening or watching. I am just
amazed,
puzzled.
Bewildered,
because we've had the guys be like, I'm the, like, okay, so you say you're Jordan and all that, but then there was nothing to back it up. I mean, there was also no passion or energy. Like Cockroach Man, like all of our supervillains of AFTERBUZZ all thought they were the Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But they were implementing, like, Cockroach Man was like, I'm selling free cockroaches. Or like the Wonder Bar lady, she had her music. This is what people want. The Wonder Bar will never die.
Yeah. Even the big O people, like they made the big O. He made the big O people have redeeming qualities.
We're gonna ring a bell and slap people around. Like no, but I'm just saying they had passion for something. This guy had no passion. None. I mean, just. Why are you laughing at me?
It was everything. There was no, like, even when he got angry, he's like, John, you're gonna agree to disagree. Kind of like, it wasn't like, no, I'm gonna
talk
turn
about he was so what a strange personality type. Yeah, I don't even know where to go with this. I mean, okay, Emily was such a spitfire and so passionate, but I thought we were gonna find out they were sleeping together.
Oh yeah. There was too much personal stuff going on.
Yeah,
and for something not to be going on.
For a 22-year-old to take that much ownership and that much, and hit him that hard, I don't know. It just seemed weird. I mean, I don't think they were by the end of the episode. Didn't seem it, but it just seemed strange.
And her being able to be so opinionated and not get fired, unless he just didn't care. Well, he didn't care to that much, but I wouldn't want to have someone yelling at me all the time, even if I wasn't passionate about what was going on, especially a guy like that, because he's like, oh, you know.
Well, we've fish bowls with like tons of crap in it, which we've seen before. We have the hot pussy shot, which I think, people want a hot pussy shot. You go in, you get a beer, you get a shot. You want to get a hot pussy, so I think it's a great concept. Oh my God! Well,
even the Long Island fish bowl. When I saw that, I'm like, it's Long Island iced tea is not supposed to be orange.
Yeah,
guys, number one.
How did you take that down? How did that end up being orange?
I have no idea, but when I saw that, I'm like, it's not supposed to be orange, guys. It's supposed to have a hue of like looking like iced tea, hence iced tea.
The place is called the Dugout. You knew it was gonna be tough because it's hidden.
Yes.
I mean, there's ATM machines around it. I mean, it's really
hidden in the what do you call the
canopy.
The canopy was half falling downwards.
And that's even bad enough.
Yeah. Which nobody even talked about that. Did you notice that the whole episode nobody talked about how the dugout sign was half falling off?
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, there's other issues.
Well,
but
it's hard because so let's back up. So we have an owner who someone came into the bar and he probably owns, and I don't know if he left the building, or I mean, it's going to be a valuable piece of real estate.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that he got that, either he was smart enough to get it on his own, or he inherited it from family, I don't know. And it seems like there was just enough space there where someone came in and said, hey, let me make this a bar. We're right near Wrigley. I'll go through all the hoops. I'll get the licenses. I'll build it. And then there's always a problem. We saw this down Fenway Park too, in Boston, when you're off season. How do you keep people going in the off season? And that's always a challenge. And
a lot of those ballparks have nothing else around them to keep it
sustained.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
So it's a struggle, and you have to reach down deep and be creative. And obviously, this person couldn't, and so they weren't making enough in that 4-month, that 4-month time period for the to keep the bar going, and the person walks out, and now he can either rent it out to someone else, which no one else wanted it probably, or he's like, well, what the hell? And as the episode went on, we see he's yet another guy with a drinking problem. So it's like, okay, well, I've got my own personal stash down here.
Yeah.
Probably sees tons of like wino friends who are like the Cubs fan type. I mean, people, well, not that there's a type with Cubs fans, but I'm just saying the baseball fans that hang around. I just remember because I worked down Fenway Park, and I remember, there was tons of dugouts, and this was before the Red Sox Nation came in, and it all got revitalized. Now all those places are completely high end and really nice, but they were more like the dugout. But I mean, even just cords hanging off walls. I mean, it was awful.
It was worse than someone's basement.
Yeah.
It was.
It was horrible. It was horrible, and it was dirty, and the flies were everywhere. And again, there was no culpability.
No.
What do you want me to do? Okay, it's flies. There's flies everywhere. He was just like...
He was like, I didn't even want to have this bar. This is not what I wanted.
And it was right off the red line. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Meaning the T.
You walk off the red line. It's right there.
The struggle with a place like that is the canopy, and I mean is the exterior being so skinny and so small. That's always a challenge.
But it's almost like you would kind of want a place like that if you really wanted to sell it. Almost make it speakeasy-ish. So it's something you go to.
Right.
Where it's a destination point.
Right. We've seen some of these hidden bars in LA that are cool because they're hidden.
Very cool.
But then you need a dynamic owner who's creative and knows how to do that, knows how to get that out there.
And I mean, I've seen them all over New York, even in Jersey and places like that where they find their footing and they do become popular. I mean, I know of a bar that's in the basement of a home. It was made during Prohibition, and it's a speakeasy, and it does so well. And it's in the middle of nowhere, and people go to it all the time. But that's because the owners and the bartenders make something out of that place. And this is something where he gets right off, where they get right off the train. You can still be making.
But again, you need a dynamic owner who's creative and takes this negative and makes it a positive.
Yes.
I like the name of Dugout because you feel like you're going into a dugout.
Yes.
You do feel like going down. So I liked the name, but again, it was just horrendous, dirty. I mean, like as dirty as some of our dirtier bars have been. I mean, it was definitely on the scale. It was pretty low.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and the drinks, the food, everything was bad. It was totally unsanitary. And when John sends in Phil Wills, who we love, and Ryan Scott, and they go in, they're almost shocked. Like Ryan's in shock. Like he was
angry.
He's throwing everything at this guy and nothing. He's getting no response. You don't even care? No.
He throws out the food. He throws it in the garbage, and this man goes and gets it out of the garbage.
Well, the stuff's great. I'll take it home.
It's making me choke.
Yeah, and we didn't see the cleanup. We didn't see the cleanup. Like, we didn't see any of that.
No.
No, there was no.
Oh, because Ryan even says, he goes, I come in the next day and they didn't even bother to clean.
No. Why should I? I mean, so you just knew that you knew the wheels were going to come off this wagon, and even looking at the DVR and the timing, I'm like, God, there's something weird's going on here, because so much time's being spent on reluctance, and he keeps hinting like, I don't care, and even the girls say to him, you don't understand, he's going to change everything back once you leave. And then Phil Wills is like, listen, John's walked on bars before.
He's like, I don't care.
I don't care. It just, I was, the one thing, Maria and my fiance and I were watching it, and she was confused as to why they finished the bar.
See, that I was feeling the same thing when I watched it. Why would you go through all that? And it's money. It's not like they go in and they're not spending any money. They spend a lot of money. It's $90,000 to about $150,000 that they spend on every bar to redo. And for you to give it to someone who just doesn't care. He told you outright he did not care. There was nothing in it. And to think, why would John think that automatically he was just going to have a change of heart? Because
I don't think he thought that. And so I thought about it this morning. And I was like, okay, I think two things. One, they were so deep in the renovation. I think John, the ones he's walked on, he knew. Like, he just had a gut instinct. This is not, And with this one, I think he was in so deep that it's like, God, now how do you pull up? And then maybe it's more of a liability if the place is kind of torn half apart. That could be one thing. The other thing is, and now I watched the episode second time, he said Chicago, its city means a lot to him, and this is basically about the city and about the Cubs and about, and he said, I got it just for the city's sake. I'm going to do it. And probably knowing that the bar is going to get rented out or sold to somebody else, but I'll do it. And that's it. So I think it's one of those two things. And the twist, but I like the twist of, I'm not even going to poison the staff, as the guy said, but I'm going to tell the staff, like, you don't have to stay here. And I'm not going to take you through the place. So that's why I think it happened. I mean, I guess we should go over some of the other steps. I mean, even the food, that hot dog looked delicious.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
It's like the ones my mom made. Not a fan.
And his nephew thought it was, his nephew liked it. But and the bartenders too. I mean, but again, we couldn't even get to them because he was so bad. But they didn't even know how to make a Cape Codder.
They didn't know what that.
I mean, cranberry juice and vodka is the first thing you learn. It's the screwdriver, the Cape Codder.
Yeah, screwdriver, Cape Codder, old fashioned, Rob Roy.
Well, you're amazing. See, I already got lost.
Yeah.
But the basics, those basic drinks.
Yeah, the basics. Like, and Long Island iced tea is one of another. That's why when I saw that, I was like shocked. I
am absolutely Michael Jordan. I make sure I wrote the quote down.
I like how the producer, you can hear the producer's voice too. So you think that you're absolutely.
I think it was Katie Dirks. I think Katie, the co-EP. It sounded like her voice. He after he gets yelled at during the stress test, he goes, "Man, John's as negative as I am." Right?
Yeah, he's as negative as I am. Like, what about that hot dog whole thing? They're making all the hot dogs. They're getting the hot dogs out, and this guy is messing it all up by just handing them out to people.
Just giving them away.
Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
And how about we have an owner who drinks before the stress test?
I don't think we've ever, blatantly. Like, we've had owners that snuck.
He was just like, this ought to be fun. I'll have a drink.
Phil was like, did you just do? Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, just having a drink. Okay, everybody, it's the dugout. Have a good time.
I know, and I thought the girls did do good.
Yeah, they did great.
And they did what they had to do, and they were keeping up. I mean, there was a lot of people there, but still, there was nothing they can do that was ever going to change this man. He blamed everybody. He was one of those guys who blamed everyone else but himself.
Yeah. Well, we see it all the time. We see that all the time, but again, Dorinda, at least the other people had passion for their for their madness, which made them a little bit more compelling, a little bit more entertaining. This guy what was his life about? Lumbering into the place, sitting on the stool, and doing nothing.
Yeah, and then it got to a point, wasn't it at a point he was just standing in the back just watching everything happen, which we have seen before, but it makes it funnier knowing how this guy...
so late. Well, we've seen them in the back drinking and partying and having fun, but just sit there like... He called... Phil Will said, "You're the most knuckleheaded owner in the history of Bar Rescue."
I think he makes the Pirates lady, who we love her to death.
Yeah.
But this is like, she was passionate.
Like, I wouldn't want to see...
I'd rather have her.
Here's what I will say. I loved this episode. I loved seeing him. I thought he was awesome, except for one thing. I never want to see him or anyone like him again.
Oh, no.
I love going from Pirate Bar to Wonder Bar to I can't get enough of them. Yeah. This guy, one and done. I don't want to see his type ever again. No. And I don't ever want to see his type get a brand new bar. If we ever have his type, I want that, boom, be done, go on to somewhere else. Because people like that don't deserve anything. No. I mean, I have to say, God, I'd say 50% of the Bar Rescue owners or more don't deserve. I agree with that. Don't deserve it. It seems like, unfortunately. Because the ones who do deserve it, you know what happened? They strive. They always do, and we see it all the time. Every failing bar has a failing owner. What did he mean by Cruz and Nicholson? Was that a quote in the movie, or did Cruz and Nicholson have a hard time working together behind the scenes? That's what I wanted to know, too, because I was like... It's like two Cruz and Nicholson. They can't see eye to eye. Two great, I guess, two A-list movie stars, like at the top of their game. That's him and John. Can't see eye to eye. I guess so, but... Or in the movie, they didn't see eye to eye. I guess that's what he's talking about. In the movie, they're on opposite sides of the coin, and they couldn't see eye to eye on how things are done. So bizarre. And you know what was sad? At first, I liked the name Dugout and said keep the Dugout. But if you're trying to attract patrons in the off season, Press Room's a better name, because you can make that, like you said, mystery, fun, interesting, and that can translate to Bulls game. You know what I mean? You can find There's a lot more to it. You can do in that off season. You're gonna get the people coming off the train. You're gonna always get them. So now, if the goal is to get that off season crowd, I feel like the Press Room gives you a better shot at Dugout, because let's face it, from October until April, you're not. No one's thinking baseball. Yeah, that's 6 you're baseballed months. Out. You're not thinking. You're thinking football, basketball, hockey. You're not thinking. So, I loved it. And then when we went inside, it was beautiful. I loved the long. What he did with the long hallway with the vines. He made it beautiful. I also the only note, maybe they weren't allowed to, is I would have put signage on the canopy on the side for people walking by. Probably not. Because I'm sure he thought, we should do something. Yeah, they probably weren't able to. So, and you could see it was minimal, like only minimal that they could do. But once you walk down that the hallway or the tunnel, what it looked like, and the bar was beautiful. It was so classy, exquisite. It was just so. I was like. Even seeing that doofus stand there alone, I'm like, and what a great feeling, which he didn't deserve, was just to go over and pour himself a drink. Like, what a great feeling. Imagine owning that place and just being able to pour your own beer and sit there and go, wow. And not even pour the beer right. Did you notice that? No, he had a huge head of foam. Like, that much. I was like, dude, you can't even, you've been there 5 years at least and can't even pour a beer? What I also liked was that he actually, I couldn't believe he admitted how nice it looked. Bar looks nice. Look at that, and then he started like pointing out certain things, and I was surprised in that moment. I was pleasantly surprised that he was acknowledging like, wow, this is cool.
And he that was the thing. I think if this guy had any ounce of enthusiasm, he would have really got it and would have. I don't know. He should have went all in, and this thing would be great to either prep for sale, or you bring in a partner. You bring someone else and you partner them in, and you come up with some percentage agreement after the bills are paid, and you have a beautiful new bar for it. But he was so incredible that he couldn't even make it that far, and to see a walkout of an entire staff, we've never seen that before. Did John help them find other jobs?
He said he would.
I'm sure he did, because he's a great guy in that.
He said, "I'll help you either way."
Yeah.
And by the epilogue, we know 2 of them are working elsewhere, and then 2 came back.
Exactly. So Delilah, who walked out originally, first walkout.
She walked out so early
Yeah.
in the game, and she was the party girl who liked she could see from what we saw.
Yeah.
She liked the fun aspect of it, and she didn't make it through all the way to the end. I think had she made it through the end, maybe she would have felt different. But she came back, and then Jess came back as well. Was that the no, Scarlett had the purple hair.
And Jess was the one who said, "I have to pay my rent."
Right, and so that makes sense.
That makes sense. They like when he walks up and he's like, "Where's Delilah?" Like, did you not get that she walked out on you?
How interesting is that? He was drunk, and John just put both his hands and said, "Back up." John Taffer. He didn't even have much. I'm sorry, let me take it down. John Taffer. And John's like, "Stop. You've been drinking," and everybody called him out for being so he was, again, I didn't even think he was drunk, but he was drunk.
Oh yeah.
He was, a drunk, not drunk. He was a drunk. And they all walk on him. So again, we got another great episode, because he's the first of his kind, and we never had a staff walkout in a renovation where the guy's just left alone.
No.
Okay, here's your shiny new toy, and you're all alone because no one wants to play with you.
Exactly. Like, did they actually? That's what I wanted to know. Did they actually open up the bar?
I'm sure they did,
because
there was that line.
He probably had the nephew,
and the line was lame. Now, when we went to Bar Rescue Updates and did some research on it, interestingly enough, this was done during a 10-game homestand for the Cubs. So I guess that would have that's very difficult, because that's your prime earning time. Also, the Cubs win it this year. So this last year. So that means they were doing business into October.
Way into October.
Deep into October. He changed the name back to Dugout, but then took all of the press room swag John gave him and moved it upstairs to a closed pizza place. And now it's a pizza place called the Press Room, and the Dugout is his bar. I looked at all the reviews, and everyone actually liked the makeover.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And I think because he had a good staff of friendly, nice people,
yes,
they were saying, all the girls were nice and fun. And there was like maybe one complaint, like, I miss the dive bar. Okay, you miss cords hanging off a wall. You miss like fruit flies. You're an asshole, but that's people. They always bitch about something.
And you like be drinking your squalor. So I'm not to say, but it's true. Like, if that's what you really liked, you're stuck in some other thing. Right.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sorry. No, if you like drinking with fruit flies, you're out of your freaking mind.
Like I said, you like drinking in squalor.
So, but he went into an interview and he just badmouthed John, like, with no surprise, and said he had to undo all the things John did, and he's like, and who the hell are you to come in 4 days and think you can, or 5 days, and change a bar over, and the paint they used was cheap and it's flaking, and it's just, you could just see like he's just such a negative person, and digging and brutal.
And this is
brutal.
You get something.
And it's apparently closed for renovations. But that's not renovation. No, you know what that is, Dorinda? That is he can't do it. He can't keep up with it. He's losing money to keep it open. And because he must own the building, it's just more profitable for him to open it up opening day and close it ending of the season. And that's it.
That would make sense.
If he owns a building, he's not paying on the. It depends. If he owns a building or he's got the mortgage figured out, that might be more lucrative and less of a headache.
Well, a lot of those Jersey Shore bars do that.
Yeah,
plenty do. So many bars.
They're only open for that window, and then they close, and everybody goes down to Florida.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it's funny that he's got a ghost town pizza shop too. Like it's like it was the bar that was dead, and then a pizza. I mean, like, but he's like such a schlep rock. Like anything that guy's gonna touch is gonna go.
Like
it's gonna go to shit.
He is void of emotion. Like,
he has the emotion, Dorinda. He's void of passion.
That's what you think. That's what. Because I wonder if his whole life is like
he had emotion. He walked out.
Yeah, he did.
He walked
right.
out, and he thinks he's Michael, but just no passion.
You're right.
It's just zero.
Because I wanted to know throughout the whole. What is your
life? I don't know.
Like what? Like that was one of the owners. I think this might be one of the first owners. I wanted to know what your life is outside of this place.
We'll have to ask John. I don't know. I'm guessing if this is family money, if this building got passed down to him, because that's a pretty expensive piece of real estate. So for him to, I don't see this guy being dynamic enough to pull off a deal like that. But who knows? Maybe it is. We only see him in this 42-minute context or whatever it is, 44-minute. I don't know. He was peculiar. He was bizarre. He was amazing. Yes. I never want to see him again, and I don't want to see another. I don't want to see another owner like him again. Get me back, Pirates, my wackadoodles. Get me back this. And speaking of that, next week, back to the bar. Did you see? You probably because you had a rush.
Yeah, I was in a rush.
Shoot. Okay. So back to the bar. I know will be. They show the tease for it, and he's. Again, we have people who just are, defying him and who have, abandoned his principles and his ideas. And I don't know. Maria's mother was watching with us last night, and she goes,
"What did she say?
He's too old to do this. This is crazy." He's like, these people, like, I said, I know, and you're out in the middle of, Chicago's one thing, but other places, he's out in the middle of nowhere. He's in little Motel 6s. Yeah. He's away from his wife, and it's just, and sometimes he'd say to me, he's like, I don't know if I'm going to make it home. Because he gets so stressed out. He's like,
Exactly.
So it's such a, I'm sure he loves the results. He loves doing it. And he loves the good people, but it's really hard dealing with
It's hard dealing with people that just don't care. And like I said, they have a 75% success rate on the show.
Of places that don't close, yeah.
Yeah, places that don't close. And that's a success. In a lot of people's minds.
If you want to call it success, Dorinda.
So he has to be doing something right.
Listen, come on. You're getting a renovation. Shut up. Let the guy do his thing. You get your, I don't know. I don't get it. Well, hopefully I'll be able to open a bar with John someday, and I'll let him yell at me for 5 days and get $1 million worth of work and consultation.
There you go.
Anyway, we're gonna have to get out of here. We won't be back for Back to the Bar, although when we do come back from a new episode, we'll recap the Back to the Bars real quick. Okay. So, but next week will be fun. It'll be fun to see who ends up getting rung out. Like I like the Back to the Bars. They're fun.
Yeah, they are a good time. I actually do like watching them, so I will be tuning in.
And I think Three Ball does a nice job producing them too. I love the lighting. I love the spirit, the live audience. It's fun. It's really fun. Bar Rescue. It's been able to go far with the. Spike's been benefited greatly. God, did you hear that? Is Spike changing their name?
Somebody said something the other day to me.
Oh yes,
about
to
that.
Paramount.
Is that
So ABC became Freeform.
Yes.
Which is the ABC Family became Freeform, which I still don't understand. I've asked every marketing person, every branding person, and everyone's hands down like, no, completely idiotic name. Yeah. And I don't think Paramount is smart either.
Does Paramount own them? Because when I think that, I think, does Paramount?
I don't know. It's Viacom. Right?
Yeah, so-
but Viacom is owned by Paramount.
Is it owned
Yes.
by? Okay. So then
Yeah.
that might make sense. But I mean, why?
Yeah, but that makes sense. But what makes you want to tune into, Paramount? Unless they want to get away from Spike, and maybe the idea is to turn it into Netflix.
I don't know.
Model?
I mean, I know that they're putting money into scripted television.
At Spike?
At Spike, yeah. I know
Okay,
that they're
so
putting
then-
money into that.
And maybe that makes you think
Mm-hmm.
more. I mean, right now it's all going back to scripted, it seems. You know,
Yes.
and we're seeing it more and more. And,
Yeah.
and a shout out to Feud. Did you see it?
No, but I have it ready to go.
You're gonna die. You
first of
can't
all,
even see. That's what I'm saying. How could you even wait this long?
Because I had a thing last night, but
Wait till you
my
see it.
God,
Just wait till you see it.
it's- Because I've known about this feud forever.
So wait till you see it. Just see it, and then we will discuss. If you're a fan of Feud, you can check me out on the AfterBuzz TV after show for Feud that I do with my fiance Maria Menounos. Also, you can check me out on the Tomorrow Show, thetomorrowshow.com, Mondays and Thursdays live around 7:00 Pacific Standard Time. But then also you can find us at our website and on iTunes.
And you guys are getting some shout outs.
Oh yeah, we actually get the Tomorrow Show gets more publicity than any podcast in the world, literally. So
Yeah, it's amazing.
it's the
Congrats
people,
on that.
Yeah, well, I think it's more of the it's not us, it's the people we have on.
But still, that helps.
The reality stars and they're crazy, and when they do Andy Cohen's show, they don't really get, it's a more controlled format, and they're
exactly.
debating and they're nervous. But when they come on our show, they get the whole
The free reign.
hour for themselves. And so, oh my God! And so then the things they say, how much people care about what they say, that just blows me away. So, Anyway, Dorinda, where do we find you?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at DorindaB1 and on Twitter at Lula Cherry Films.
Dorinda B1. All right, you guys, please check out Back to the Bar next week, and go to YouTube, watch our show, rate and comment. If you are listening on iTunes, also rate and comment. That would be nice. It all helps. Okay, until then, I'll see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.